Anyway, so back to the question: how has
Yeah.
the new league format from a professional player for you specifically, uh,
Yeah.
you know, gone?
At first, with the announcement of how it was going to be ran with the homestands and stuff, I wasn't really on board at first, and the reason being is just I'm so accustomed to open events and the open atmosphere and the way that Call of Duty has been run traditionally for however many years it's been. I wasn't really on board with the whole homestand idea. Not every team is there. It wasn't really like Call of Duty from what I'm used to. And I'm still kind of feeling like that. I don't really think that people hold the homestands as important as open events, and I think that's fair to say. So I think like the atmosphere of like an Anaheim, a grand final of Anaheim last year with like us and Genji, or London with us and United, like that isn't happening. Like that isn't there. It's not the same. So I like the idea of homestands. If every team was there, and if they were run a little bit differently, I think it would be a much better idea. And I like the idea of traveling everywhere though, because again, more travel is always nice to see different places and experience different things. And then obviously with coronavirus, that's not possible. But moving forward with the league format, depending on how they choose to carry on from this year, I think that if the homestand idea is expanded upon, and if the league takes player feedback the way that they have so far, I think that it could create a really, really cool system which integrates both sides of past and current Call of Duty.
All right, so we're back. I think that the format that we have now. Well, the thing is this, right? And I've talked about it before. Originally, it was supposed to be single homestands, or 4 teams only go to every homestand.
Yeah, that was the original pitched idea at the beginning of the year.
That was the original one.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they got player feedback at the LA, like, here's our brand new league meeting. And every player in the room was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, this is, and then we all went home, and 2 days later, they were like, here's our new idea.
Well, Hasser and I were in the, well, look, every team owner is like super involved. They believe in this thing, and they're like, they're passionate about it. They asked, they're like, well, what does Hector and Mike have to say about this thing? Like, we need to hear from them. They've been here from the beginning. They built this thing, blah, blah, blah. Mike and I were like, yo, no, we can't. No. Let me tell you how this is going to go, right?
Yeah.
And it's, obviously they don't know, right? Like they understand it. They're passionate, but they don't have 10 years of institutional knowledge of what it is that happened.
Sorry to interject here, but like that's like a weird thing. I don't know if it's like this in other leagues, but I feel like the owners and the players have so much more experience and like just like been around Call of Duty so much more than the people that are like working for the league and running the league.
Yeah.
So like the level of back and forth, like sometimes it gets a little twisted because they're coming from a how to run a league perspective, and we're coming from like, okay, I played Call of Duty for 15 years of my life. Like, so like that back and forth is a little weird, but like I've never been in a situation where, like, say they'll come to you and Mike or us players like, okay, how do we do this? It's because we've worked with Adam in the past and MLG and all these guys, and like they've been around the block, they know what's going on. So like every now and then they would go to players for certain feedback on things if it was like a really important situation.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, we're like running a franchise $300 million whatever league, like they're coming to us because we have to fix a rule, the technical delay rule would be a perfect example when we were playing against Atlanta. So like, it's just like a really weird back and forth that I think sometimes kind of gets twisted with the level of experience on both sides.
Yeah. Look, at first I was a little bit doubtful of how this thing was going to go. Obviously, having brand new people, Johanna Ferry's the commissioner of the league, coming from the NFL, no experience in Call of Duty. I'm like, I'm worried, right? Like I'm worried. But the more we get to know her, the more that we see how vested she is in this league and how she's taken personal pride in making sure that this thing's gone. I'm super, super confident in the fact that we're like in good hands if she continues to be like at the helm of the mediator between us. She's a great anger translator. Yes, exactly. Right. You have us, the endemics. We're fucking personalities out.
Exactly. Like I was in that meeting that I brought up earlier, and I was talking to Alex and the other guys that work for the league, and I was like getting a little heated because of the situation that I was in.
Yeah.
And Johanna was like, "Okay, Sam, like we understand." I was like, "Okay." Like I like her a lot. She's definitely growing on me.
Yeah. Everybody likes her a lot. So she's really good. Again, I'm confident in the fact that we're in good hands if she continues to fight for us the way that she's been. But again, it's one of those things where we are all finding our footing. Well, maybe not us. because we've done this for as long as
Yeah.
we've known.
Refinding our footing.
Yeah, we're refinding
Yeah.
our footing in this new world. I'm finding myself in this new world, right? Like I'm sort of transported to the beginnings of the old team as I was building it, with everybody that were.
I was about to. I wanted to ask you at some point during this is like, do you feel the correlation of the building the Huntsman brand and building Optic at all?
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Because
are you just doing the same things that you were with Optic, the same ideas and stuff like that, just with the Huntsman with better, things at your disposal?
yeah, sort of. It's easier now because all the mistakes that needed to be made were made very,
Yeah,
very early
you're just
on.
flying by. Now you're just brand 101.
Yeah, but now it's like
Throw some TED
don't
talks when you
like,
retire.
yeah, you start every meeting with like, we're not gonna do this, right? Like this
Yeah.
this is why we're not gonna do this. And the good thing about YouTube and sort of recording and tabulating the amount of mistakes that you've made, and then you compare that to the number of mistakes that you haven't made, again, is only a testament to what it is. For me, to be honest, man, it's like it's been good for us. Everybody, like for everybody that lived at 60-50, everybody that lived at McAlpin, everybody that was on the old team at some point, like this is it's the same feeling that Nate had when he built 100 Thieves to as big as it is today, right? Like I'm having the same sort of, like, we're not one-hit wonders, right? It wasn't this thing that we only did once. Like this is physical proof that we know what we're doing, right? Like that we learned a lot and we are able to implement that thing over and over and over again. And our model has worked not just in esports, but you see it also in fishing with the Guggen squad, right? Like they constantly talk about how they took the Optic playbook essentially and then applied it to that industry, and that industry has blown up. And you see it, right? You see it across every single one of our pieces of content. For us is about creating something that's going to make people feel something, right? Aside from entertainment and happiness. If you're sad when Nick goes and sits down on a chair, and when you're sad when a team goes away and everybody feels something, and then you feel the ups and downs of a storyline that you're watching, and you're able to sort of connect and actually feel something, that's why we do what we do, right? Because it'd be really easy for me to get out there and just upload trivias and upload this, that, and the other, but to not have a mind or a vision as to what and how you want to present the things that we're doing, it'd be really easy for me to say, all right, we're picking up Big Timer. Make the announcement, we welcome Big Timer to the to Energy Fam, or we welcome TST to the Energy Fam, and that's that. That's an announcement. No. Like, we're going to do something, right? We already know that we do that. The public doesn't know, right? The public doesn't know what's there. Why the fuck am I just going to give them something, an announcement? Why don't we
for free?
Why don't we just out of nowhere twist the camera and point it towards somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
I knew that I was going to acquire the Complexity team. No, not Complexity. The CLG team, the CLG
Dude,
Halo team.
I will never in my life forget when Lethal sat down on that couch, dude.
Yeah.
Never.
Exactly. And we knew that was happening, right? I had already made that move. I had already talked to Nick. I had already talked to Flamesword. I said, we gave it a shot, blah, 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 blah. Right? And it's not that it's scripted, but it's not that it wasn't planned out. It would have been really easy to say, we fucking picked up this team and blah, blah. But the way that we did it made somebody feel something. And it's not scripted, but it's also not something that we just give you just because. And when you're able to make people feel something because you can, then you really feel the connection with an audience that makes you feel invincible almost, and inspires you to do it over and over and over and over and over
some
again.
Real, like, Jordan Belfort, sell me this pen that you're throwing at me right now.
Sell you this pen?
Yeah, that's the same thing you're throwing at me right now.
Yeah, look, it's to me, again, I've watched so many movies, so many programs, so many shows that I know what it's like to do that. And again, being creative and a creative person sort of helps in ideating how it is that you want to present something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, Matt's taking the reins on that too. Like, the way that 100 Thieves is, I don't know how much of it is his decision. Obviously, he has a whole production team, but like the way that they're announcing people and the way that they go about adding new things to their brand is like very Optic-esque. And obviously, he learned some of that from you.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing,
from each
Jack's
other.
announcement or Nico, exactly. So like Jack's announcement or Nico's or whoever, like, They're not just saying, you know, oh, Nico joined 100 Thieves. Here's your thing. It's like, okay, here's this whole storyline dating back 3 months to videos that we've made. Here's how this interjects and like all this stuff. So I think that building connections between brands and people is like you said, it's just the best way to go about doing things rather than just saying, oh, Nico's joined 100 Thieves.
And you know what's crazy is that it takes nothing more than to just fucking point at something and click record. You know, record everything, whether you use it or not, doesn't fucking matter. You still have something to sort of show in the future. You know.